This is Harrowing. It's a passing show live with Hal Gill, your host. I've been taking in a little bit of the construction that's happening on Connecticut Avenue, ongoing. The state of technology these days. Yanmar. I don't know much about that little combination bulldozer backhoe. They're doing what they do. Right down there. You get past the steamroller. Looks like they're parking them for the night, probably. Been doing a lot of construction, obviously, laying new pipes. You see the material they're made of. Quite a production. Folks riding their bikes on the sidewalks. They really ought to ride them on the street, but it can be dangerous. It's easier to hit a pedestrian. Look in the back of what is called the Hinckley Hilton because John Hinckley shot right in here. Small world-wise, John Hinckley ended up living in Kings Middle on the James. I think my father spotted him a number of times on his walks before my father stopped being able to go on walks. Is what it is. I almost don't feel up to this walk. Had a flu vaccine a couple of days ago, and it seems to kicked my rear end a bit. COVID vaccine, actually. And here's the Wyoming, former home of Christopher Hitchens, one of the greater intellects of the 20th and early 21st centuries. He died in 2011. Esophageal cancer took him out. Just about my age or a little bit older. I caught him interviewing Salman Rushdie, soldier in Sailor's Memorial Hall in Pittsburgh on April, we determined it was April 5th, 1997 or thereabout. And I was talking with Ara about that yesterday. It was fun telling a bit of my life story to Ara. And that's an enjoyable thing I do, is trying to preserve my own past and the lives I've touched while touching others. Still nobody else here but me, so it shows. I kind of wonder if that's true on this Friday evening. But if it is, great. If it's not, fine. This is just a little bit of who, what, when, and where. Little raw journalism. Little primary documentation for historians of the future, potentially. Potentially. Can't guarantee that anybody's going to care about anything much that we do here, or much take note of it. But I am here now and walking along and running my battery down as I go up Columbia Road. I could jump over on this next street, head down a little ways, get myself over to Adams Morgan proper. I might do that as opposed to continuing on this part of the rise. We'll see. Never know what I might get up to. There's the Altamont. I love these old apartment buildings. Fine. The street, this one is not quite so old, I think. The Gelmart Towers definitely has styling cues from the Art Deco phase of history. Yeah. A couple of prints on the walls. I remember this little apartment right here. It belonged to a young lady from Guatemala who was dating a friend of mine. Didn't work out as it turned out. I don't know. I just know how things seem to me. And I could be wrong. So I try to keep that in mind as I make my way from dawn to dusk and back again. Trying to watch the cars here as they have to stop for pedestrians, but sometimes I don't think they want to. Got other people living their lives. There are such temporary beings. I like to think about considering the fact that this is the 10th job being a human being. We're all playing roles. As Jane Goodall pointed out in her famous last words, I've been trying to get people to watch that by clipping it into my um, feed. And I'm surprised that there seem to be a lot of folks who are unaware of her and her work, though what they should be. Roots and Shoots was one of her efforts to get young people interested in environmental conservation. So important, right? Think of the dyes it takes to create things in color. And things aren't vividly colored anymore. I see. Nowadays. Keep on walking. Don't stand and wait. That goes through to Adams Morgan area. Some guys being kind of loud. Won't pick up my thread. That's something I know. It speaks of me, but yeah, I'm like a sock popping up to this. Keep on walking. So, do we have anybody? Looks like we've got no one at all. I don't think that could possibly be right. So, if you are watching the passing show and you don't see an ability to leave me a comment or anything, don't be too surprised. I can't see that you're here. If you are, and I get the impression that it's one of these little glitches that happens in Substack from time to time about not telling me who else might have logged in. It could be nobody did, and nobody's going to. And that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Gorgeous flowers. If people are not here, they're missing. Full is this co-ed adult sports DC things, events, classes, and opportunities to volunteer. They play so kids play free, which is a nice idea. And then over here, got kids working out in the playground, climbing, doing things they find to be fun, sliding. A squirrel over here. Think of the world as children will be seeing. It's evolving so quickly. You need to be on top of things, definitely. Class should have been available yesterday. I don't have the energy for it right now. I'm well behind on my honest idea of spending 2 hours a day on my coursework. I didn't spend anything like that. But I did spin up a few posts on Substack in hopes of resonance with someone, being relatable. I don't know if people can relate to my passing shows, but as I walk along, I think all kinds of things. And they largely center on how brief life is, on how much activity it takes, about how much coordination it takes, the linking up of supply chains to get things where they're going. Like this place, Streets Market. Got some good stuff, I'm sure. Fruits, Halloween candy. Yeah, I got everything. Oh, I do have someone joining. Alexi Zaitsev. Where are you, Alexi? You've told me things in the chat before that are of interest. You seem to be a Philip K. Dick fan. And you were telling me about somebody I ought to look up. Who was it again? Oh, don't see a response yet. So if you are traveling along with me, on the passing show. I'm really grateful for your presence. And let me know if you aren't able to hear the sound. You can let me know that too. It looks like I do have microphone on. But where in the world are you? I should look up your profile. I can do that. Nope. Not right off the bat. Just can't go from being live to seeing your profile. I could invite you to join if you have an interest. We could talk. I had other people join in and talk for a while in the past, just impromptu. I find that an interesting thing. And it's kind of like during a little Hair Wings podcast on the road. I actually got on the road a few minutes early. It's Case Jenner and I set up at 10 o'clock live, probably about 10:01. I haven't seen my clips yet, which, again, Substack's kind of finicky sometimes or does different things in ways I wouldn't have thought it would do. ACLU. Leave the people. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're coming closer to Adams and Morgan. It's been pretty light as far as the number of people I've seen. It's like we got Tafiani joining again. Nice to have you on the passing show. And as I was asking, Alexi, just throw in the chat, write a message of where you're at on this jumping green sphere on the world's surface. I'm in Adams Morgan almost. There's technically it's part of Adams Morgan to come up along Columbia Road to 18th Street Northwest, which is the main drag down through. And I'm going to go in and take in the tiny vinyl shop, see what's happening with my friend Ty if he happens to be in manning the store. It's getting a little while before he closes. He usually says 4 to 7. I'll be back days like today. Not have long hours, really. And if he has any events coming up, maybe we can do some little advertise for him. And we can actually get to talking to Ty, see if he wants to go live or be live with us. I wonder if there's a way of pausing my live. Maybe there is. Not starting a new one, it's just sort of like going off camera. Whatever. Not everybody wants to be so public as I like to be. So they're going to make me cross this way. Is that right? Yep. 65 seconds. I might as well. They closed the Starbucks on the corner recently. It's all papered up. It's a good location, but apparently, I don't know. Starbucks is rolling back. Bus going up through, people on the bus. Is on the bus, so you're not on the bus. And everything in the world is either a duck or not a duck. Vendor check in and check out. Okay. On happening. And hold up here at about 30 seconds or more before we get the crossing again. And down, looks like the lights are on at Tiny Vinyl. The lights are on. Joe and a bone. Passed by the Adams Morgan Central poster area. Looking at the phone repair tech shop next to McDonald's. And on down, there's Lost City Books down there. I like to go to the Lost City Books from time to time. What about? Been thinking a lot about Colin Wilson and getting some of his books on board. And again, I don't need more books. So I might take a different route with that. But everything's well. If you don't know who Colin Wilson was, he wrote The Outsider as his first major work. It's excoriated by the press. What? Yeah, I think I'll just go on the side. Oh, I did make it this far, though. Got a few more steps on the old odometer. Trying to get about 10,000 steps a day. Falling a little short of that last few days. And at midnight tonight, I'll lose like 13,000 the previous week. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Got nothing. It's Friday night in Adams Morgan, so it's going to be probably pretty hopping. Admo, it's new luxury boutique apartments. Admo Heights. They're now leasing. Oh, yeah. Right before power yoga. Get your core strong. My core is too bad, but then again, anyway, I know. School time, so. It's mine now. To mine now. A question I tend to ask. You don't want to be stuck? Oh, did you know? Oh, no. Yeah. You have to. Like, oh. It looks like tiny vinyls open. We'll check it out. Trees are lovely here, aren't they? Unity Park. Well, let's see if I can step across here. Looks like somebody else may be manning the place for time today. That's not too surprising. It's a Friday. I think you all takes it off. Yeah, so no real reason to go into tiny vinyl. It's got new curtains. If I was parked at your place, ones does look like you replaced the glass. It's all good. Bike shop. Open. Now where? I think I might go on Champlain. No. Maybe yes. I don't know. Let's see. Well, somebody different manning this store, I figure. No real point going. He's got keys. He's got everything he needs. Hopefully I'll get some business. I don't see anybody browsing at the moment. I like that store. I like vinyl and stuff. Just stuff. Generally. Keep on moving. Oh, yeah. Full apartment building over here. That. Lots of people coming and going in DC. I kind of came and decided to stay. Put down some roots. Establish myself. What is today's date? 24th. In the week, be the 25th. So another day. The 31st. Halloween. On a Friday. November 1st is Saturday, isn't right? No, it's not right. Yeah, maybe that is right. I guess it's Thursday after next. That plan to go to Wilmington. If all goes right, I'll finish the story. American housing. There's a trajectory. Have new foundations going in there. Ready to build another high-rise modern apartment complex. Condos. Always being rearranged, things are. These are fairly new. And maybe an extension of the same basic construction. Find out, and you'll probably catch it in the passing show because it's in to walk along in here and take in who, what, when, and where. Coming down, coming down. I'm forgetting people's names. I just remembered somebody. I could see her face. An odd name. Sorts. I can't remember it at all. I thought I could get across here onto 18th Street again. Apparently I cannot. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. There's got to be a path through at some point. I'm not seeing it. This is called Eden. I don't think it's living up to the reputation, though, Eden. Who knows? Who knows? Some people, me in particular. Yeah, but it doesn't look like there's a way through here unless it goes up through. Nope. It just steps up to the door of 2356. I do like to remind folks that every cent we spend is a vote for the kind of world we're co-creating. I've asked you all to identify where you're from, if you wouldn't mind, as you've joined the passing show now on Harrowing's Live with Hal Gill, your host. I'd like to know. I'm curious. Where y'all at? Me, I'm on Champlain Street, cutting through now to Adams Morgan. I'm going to go up the street, I think, past Lost City Books, rather than down through all the different pubs and such. Pretty tired. I decided to let Len watch the Great British Baking Show as I go on a walk and talk with you guys. I'm not the fastest, but you can see the lofts at Adams Morgan are here. And living in such a community, there are lots of opportunities for interaction. I'm going to interact with that vehicle right now, being in his way briefly, although it made no difference. We'll cross from leather and lace by night, dream, and night dream is itself right next door. Van Leeuwen, ice cream. Life without anything good is bad. Can't argue with that logic. Turning dog out. Took an interesting paint job out. And the doggies. The doggies. It's like the bells of the yeah. How about saying this year? You're lucky. The first time I came on the well, the gentleman over there is singing. Got quite a set of pipes. Well, busking going on ahead of nightfall. I continue across and go across the Taft Bridge. It's a possibility. Just keep walking. Tobacco shop open there. And DC Control. Grand Central. Capitals fans cheer here. Let's go Caps. It's a diner next to Trust. You can seat yourself at the diner. Business hours 7 to 9. They got an open mic poetry night. Late nights are back at the diner 24/7. There you go. And Tryst, the coffee house and bar. Getting more like New York every day. In fact, Hitchens used to call DC New York's nicest suburb. I don't know about that. Philly and Baltimore have something to be said for them, but I appreciate it. We got Lost City Books as their Halloween decorations up. They're doing zombies. Okay. What feasts at night? You annotated H.P. Lovecraft. Snow and Vampire Cinema. 19 claws and a black bird. I gotta look. I just got pleasant. Okay. Do we care just the opposite things? Every so dumb. Do you also like chins, please? Why? It's all good. Come on. Martina Warner is advocating this one. No, I think I'm it. So that's good. New books. So check out Laszlo Krasznahorkai. If Marina Warner is advertising it, I'm down. Those are some newer books, some older ones. The Ambassadors by Henry James. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey. Herman Melville's The Confidence Man. Secret Agent by Conrad. John Updike's The Centaur and another Conrad. Under Western Eyes. Hiroshima. The Time of the Burning Sun. Yeah, pretty nice collection. USA. My father had a copy of this exactly. I want for it. Find out. I just feel like, what are you doing? Maybe it's on the back. Yeah. $20. It's not bad. I think I had the complete short stories of Somerset Maugham somewhere too. Come to think of it. More Joseph Conrad. Hard-boiled detective stories. Stephen King. Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Oh my God. I had this when I was a kid and I was fascinated by it. Only $7.25. Thought I paid more for that when I had it. Woman function. Always something to spark the curiosity. Good. The book that caught my eyes, The World Goes On. All right, find out about that later. Good Martin. Haunting Lafa. Codependence Anonymous. How about that? $1 to $5. Amity. I don't. I'm gonna have to look for the agenda. I didn't see it yet. What do you want to bet it hasn't been sent out yet? I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I just missed it. Because I don't want Mars for my email very much. Thinking about a meeting tomorrow. It should be happening. And it will be, I expect. End of October. Will be the 31st on Friday. Friday, Halloween. How perfect. So I'm confused now. That's not going to open up for me. Is that going to open up? No. Did what will? If that opens up first, I'm going that way. If this opens up first, I'm going that way. No, I see everybody. Now, I'm just plain confused about where I should go. I should go this way. I guess I really don't need to walk down across the bridge and back up and all that. It's pretty long. And I've done enough, considering my limitations in terms of food intake. I've been eating a lot today. Had a protein shake, and that's about it, really, I think. Yeah, some peanuts here and there. Picked up in passing. A lot of water. That's always good. Will your family be prepared when disaster strikes? Ready.gov/start. It's a place to get ready if disaster strikes, because it might. Been thinking a lot about that, about our ability to destroy ourselves and the less accountable government we have, the more I expect it any day. Any day now. Something's going to break. And they do break. People bounce back. This place burned recently, as I recall. I think that one, yeah. It's for lease. And I'm putting my left foot in front of my right foot, so I'll get back home. See what happens. It's the rest of the evening. Hope you all have had a good evening thus far. I've asked where everybody's from. Nobody's answering, so I don't think you're listening to me. Captain Lippy Lee, I've seen before. Jen Christensen has joined. Matt Hugh Billings has joined. Tatiana and Alexei Zaitsev. So again, I'll ask, where are you all in the world? I'll share your location. I'm sharing mine.
Plenty, but thank you for your work.
You got the good one. How's it going, boss man?
Doing all right.
Friday.
You too. We are doing it. Left foot in front of right foot. Tate looks like might have closed up. I don't know. Or maybe it's just coming. Because I don't think there was a Tate there before. I think that's what's happening. I think they're opening a session there. Tango Gelate at the cafe is quite delightful. Haven't been there for ages. And I'm coming back up on Streets, which was one of the places we passed earlier on this walk. This building's a home to Mike Olmert. He's a fine fella. Used to be a colleague of my father's. We've gotten together once. I don't know, maybe yet. I don't know. I never know. What's liable to happen? Anybody told me where they're from? No. I'll just want to watch the passing show with me. That's just fine. I will continue to talk and make my observations, and maybe this will make some interesting clips. I don't know. I lived in Denmark for a couple of years, in Copenhagen. A lot of people coming and going there too. Be nice to go back and go down the stroll or something like it on Substack. I should try to get Tina to get on Substack. She's often in the capital, but she lives down on Brøndby Strand. But she can get on the train, go places. Does. On the home guard now. Very proud of her. Training as she is to help defend Denmark should anything happen to it. I help anybody that tries to take on Denmark. All right. Love that girl. What a bright spirit. Used to shoot pool together, hang out. Saw Bob Dylan at the Forum, I think, in Copenhagen, April 8th, 2002, if memory serves. And it was a good show. He opened up with Hallelujah, I'm Ready to Go, and the Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Summer Days. I don't know what all he did entirely, but it was a really powerful show with a good band and nice, tight playing from Larry Campbell on lead guitar, Tony Garnier on bass. I think Caracil was on drums in those days. And you can catch this actually on a movie called Masked and Anonymous. It's starring Bob as Jack Fate. And he's released from prison to conduct a benefit concert. It's big money and making sure that people aren't free is said in that movie. I have to watch that again. I just found it recently again in a CD case, a DVD. And I don't know where that is right now. I got a vague idea. I'll give that a shot if I stay up tonight. Staying up may not be in the cards, though. I did get some exercise at least. It was very slow, very low impact. Besides the walking, the talking. There we go. NVIDIA is leading the AI and digital revolution. WWT, worldwidetechnology.com. That's my target. One of them. One of them. It's from Columbia. And I could continue on 19th Street. What is this? Colorado Road. 601 half a dozen another as to which way I go at this point. I think I'm going to try this crossing now. Yeah, 19 seconds. Got a flight of crows moving down the way. They tend to fly in that direction at night. I've noticed down Florida Avenue towards the Potomac River. And they come up morning in this area. It's always good to see them. I love crows. I just want to be befriended by a crow or adopted. Fantastic animals. And here's Hargrove Park. Should look up and find out who Anne Hughes Hargrove was to have a park named after her. It's not a bad thing. Here. Chap driving a Honda Fit. My friend Deb in Austria had a Honda Jazz, as I recall. Deb works at the Mozart Geburtshaus, giving tours last I checked. And she's married to Armin, who's the director of the Mozarteum, largest collection of Mozart in the world. Here in DC, we have the largest collection of Shakespeare. So, you know, it's nice to have those connections. I tend to support the Folger Shakespeare Library. Haven't seen much from them lately, actually, but I do support them. I think that what they do is really important. It's got to preserve our culture. And I guess that's why I'm talking too, is I have a lot of cultural knowledge going back into, the history of Western civilization, some degree of knowledge of Eastern and world conditions over the span of the millennium. And a lot of us are pretty uneducated in these things, and this bothers me a little bit. I think we ought to know more about our history in order to see that we are the crown of creation. We've got no place to go. As the Jefferson Airplane once said. Music, art, literature, all these things that we have, and our way of making creative work, that's important. It's important to recognize. And I'm crossing here. Go on Wyoming I went to Connecticut Avenue, but I don't want to. I don't think. Oh, maybe I do. That was a line out of a Bob Dylan song called Highlands. Memphis, Boston town, he said, in some restaurant. I got no idea what I want. Maybe I do, but just really not sure. Waitress comes over. Nobody in the place but me and her. So anyway, the waitress decides to ask him to draw a picture of her, which she does on a napkin, but she tosses back in his face and says, "That doesn't look a thing like me." And he says, "Oh, kind miss, it most certainly does." She said, "You must be joking." I say, "I wish I was." That's funny. I love old Bob. He's a character, you know? We're all characters, and in the end, we all become stories. Stories will be told and retold through the years. One of my favorite stories is Bob Dylan getting introduced to Peter Grant. And Peter said, "Hello, Mr. Dylan. Peter Grant, I manage Led Zeppelin." And Bob apparently just said, "I don't come to you with my problems, do I?" I love that. Just really amused me. I couldn't believe it. And I should believe it because I was living around that time. 1979. That was between the 77, 78 period. And 79, Led Zeppelin came back to Knebworth with Into the Outdoor, about to be released. When it was, I started hearing the music on the radio and said, "That sounds like Zeppelin." And it did. And it was. And I had thought maybe they were done with Presence. But no, add Into the Outdoor left for us, and later Coda. And you got various mishmash stuff. Ending Celebration Day, 2007. They reunited with Jason Bonham on drums for one show at the O2 Arena. It was one of the best things that I've seen. I think this is good. I'm going to toss you. Well, did it? Yes, it did. Just barely. Architecture on these places is really splendid. This is the mission of Paraguay to the Organization of American States. Across the way is the Embassy of Malta, if I remember correctly. It's in a building belonging to the Russians, up high over Connecticut Avenue. Monument to General McClellan, standing in a little triangle park between Columbia and Connecticut. And on it goes, the passing show. You're coming around the bend up here, we'll get the little clip of the Washington Monument peeking up above the surrounding buildings. Universal South building down there, supposed to was one being converted into residences. And I tell you, my legs are not up to this right now. I have to strengthen them by continuing to walk as regularly as possible. Bipedal gait is kind of amazing too, but to have balance, we can move from place to place with relative impunity. Huge dog. Huge dogs don't tend to last too long. There's a Washington line, and it's in view. Everybody coming okay, everybody's turning. It's good to me to get across. These other vehicles, their engines are pretty quiet overall. We're right up by the Churchill Hotel, which is one of the nicer places. All right, where else are we going? Generator. It was 10 years ago, right about now, that I nearly died of dehydration. Ate something that caused all the body fluids basically to leave rapidly. And I'm not sure it was an allergic reaction, what it was. Couple of the virus, who knows? No one knows. But they pumped about 8 liters of fluids into me and got me back on my feet. By the following morning, I checked myself out, probably against medical advice, but I needed to go home to recover. I could not stay in that hospital any longer. Just couldn't do it. And I was concerned about the cost, of course, because it can be very costly to be hospitalized in this country, which is a real shame because just about everybody eventually might need hospitalization before all is said and done, unless they just drop over spontaneously. It is what it is. It's good to make my way from dawn to dusk and back again. I was talking a little bit about that in the little writing I was doing earlier today. It didn't amount to much. I thought I might have more to say. But then again, I wrote something the other day and I tried to elicit some feedback for it. And I got very little initially. But then when I asked for feedback via direct messenger, I got a fair amount. And I appreciated that very much. I did want people to be critical, some level, to actually, in a good way, give feedback that would be constructive. And I got a couple. Most people are much nicer, they're just nice. But what we need, I think, is to refine our blades, so to speak, sharpen our blade when it comes to writing. A pen is mightier than the sword, they say. So I've mixed my metaphors. That's what I'm saying. We've got to write and communicate and say things that are meaningful to generations to come, to know that we wanted to be good ancestors and we were trying to figure it out. And there were these small voices that either got just drowned in the noise or that managed to actually affect some change, that managed to capture the imagination of others who joined in cooperative action so that we forge a world that looks after all of us, all species, across the board, and achieves the greatest happiness of the greatest number, not just of human beings, but of every other life form here, now. And that we stop doing things that poison the planet, that have fatal repercussions, not only for other species, but eventually for ourselves. Because surely we're doing that out of expediency, quite likely, out of the path of least resistance, or simply that's what seemed like the right thing to do. And a lot of people have been like that. I've probably been like that. But every single gesture, every single movement, every single word that leaves our lips has the ability to transform the world in slight ways or in great ways. I've been particularly writing up stuff about how our technology could be enabled to do an Earth.net kind of thing. Planetary health management system, I've called it in the past, our operating system that unites different technologies which we've developed cooperatively instead of competitively. Cooperation over competition. One of the main themes going on here. Every cent spent is a vote with the kind of world we are co-creating. including a choice to buy a little Fiat with a bad muffler system. Yep. To sound much louder than it actually is. And onwards. What am I doing on power? 30 something percent. Anybody talking to me? Anybody telling me where they are? I've asked people to share their locations, and I can't really see whether they did or didn't. Oh, there we go. Bathrobe guy used to say in the sandwich greeting, hello, everyone, peace and meta. Trying to get people to share who, what, when, and where they are in the chat. We can know each other better because that's a big part of what I'm doing too, is trying to network us together so that we know a little bit about each other. We know that loving kindness is on the mind of the bathrobe guy, for instance. Take a look at his work, check in with him at the bedtime at the porch or whatever it is that he does in the evenings, sharing creative writing efforts. And yeah, sounds like a nice thing to do. So I'm crawling myself back up to the bunker, looking around. The passing show goes on and never really stops. So if you're with me today, thank you for joining, and we'll be back with the passing show in the near future. Creek don't rise if I don't die, and all of that. Getting good changes of the leaves around here. So a lot to look at, a lot to appreciate in terms of the natural beauty of Washington, D.C. on this October 24th, 2025. Again, thank you for joining out here. Boop.